uh, allows me to kind of lead into a few other stories. And one was at World Championships this past summer. I was fortunate enough to spend time with the national team. And there are two things that happened that really stand out in my mind. When I'm doing that, when I'm spending time with the national team, I often find myself looking at them and saying, is there this common bond or this level of athlete that I can identify and somehow share with a younger athlete when I'm working with them? And I do believe that, a lot of it's individual, but I do see some common threads that run through these athletes that help me share experiences with other athletes and maybe allow them to look at what they're doing in a little different manner. And when I watch that, there are two people in there that I can specifically remember having conversations with prior to their swimming and feeling like this is something that's valuable and I should share with you all. The first one was after Ryan Latte finished swimming, and Anthony, you can help me on this one. I can't remember if it was the 200 free or 200 back or 100 back, but he had a double that day. He had the relay with 4x200. It was the 200 back. And I was asked to go with Anthony to drug testing. I'm sorry, I was asked to go with Ryan to drug testing. And Ryan and I walked down for drug testing, and they had the women's 200 breast was going on because we were watching that on the screen and we were talking. And he got through the test. Actually, he didn't test. He just signed and walked out because the relay was so soon. And we're walking back, and he goes, Jack, I'm absolutely exhausted. He goes, my legs are killing me. And I'm thinking, 40-something relay. We've got to do something here. And he goes up to get a massage, and I walk over to Anthony, and I go, Anthony, I think you need to go talk to Ryan. He feels pretty bad, and he's got the relay, and he's got a pretty important role on this relay. And Anthony goes over, and I see Anthony about this close to Ryan's face, and he's talking to him, and they spend about 30 seconds to a minute talking, and then Anthony comes over to me and he goes, hey, Jack, don't worry, Anthony. Ryan's fine. And sure enough, Ryan swam an unbelievable leg on that relay, and they won the gold medal. And I think that, what clicked in my mind there was how mental swimming is. Regardless of how tired you think you are, and you probably are, if the cause for what you're doing is more important to you mentally than how you feel physically, you can rise above how you feel physically. I mean, we see it time and time again in stories that we read about and hear about in things other than sports. But I think in particular with sports, it's so important to realize that and remember that. And, that's a tribute to Ryan's character. He understood his responsibility to his team. And that was so overwhelming to him that what happened to him in the 200 back or how he felt physically became something that just wasn't that important. Another situation that occurred that really impacted me greatly was everyone, if you remember watching the World Championships, Aaron Pearsall did not qualify to be top 8 in the 100 backstroke as a world record holder. And that meant that most of the meet was going to go by, and he wasn't going to do anything but watch the meet. And you had to wonder what was going on in Aaron's mind through that whole process before he had the opportunity to swim the 200 back. And Aaron and I were walking down the night of the 200 back to do some pace, and we spent a little time doing pace, and then we got out of the water on the far end of the pool, not the pool, the arena that it was in. I think it was seating 16,000, maybe 18,000. It was sort of horseshoe shaped. And Aaron and I were on the opposite end where you could look at the whole crowd coming in. And by that time, it was almost completely filled for the finals. And we're walking back, and I'm looking at Aaron, just wondering, how nervous is this guy? And Aaron looks at me, and he grabs me by the arm, and he goes, "Hey, Jack, sit down a minute." We sit down, and Aaron crosses his legs. He puts his hands behind his head, and he goes, "Take this in." I look at him, and I'm just thinking, what's he talking about? He goes, "Look at this. Look how beautiful it is out here. Look at these people." He goes, "We may never experience this again together. Let's enjoy this." And for about 2 minutes or 3 minutes, we just sat there, and Aaron just has this huge smile on his face. And he goes, "Okay, I'm ready." And we walk up, and I don't know, half an hour later, he sets the world record and turns back. And that taught me something else that I think we sometimes so easily forget as athletes when we get to the most important competition of our entire season, in some cases our entire career. Why can't that be the easiest race of your life? I'm not sure why it can't be. I mean, I think that's an individual thing that only you can work through with your coach. But try and wrap yourself up in the moment. Try and feel the energy around you. That's another common thread I see in many of the best athletes that consistently perform time after time after time at a very high level. They keep everything in the right perspective. I've seen Aaron so nervous that you don't know how he's going to react, but every time he reacts the same way. He puts himself in the moment, kind of absorbs the energy of the meet itself, and allows that to help him propel himself to a level that very few athletes reach. Okay, Russell, we'll show the next